Battle Through the Heavens, Grand World. Chapter 198 Rebirth. In the deep underground cave, there was a cool breeze from time to time. Combined with the dim lighting, the broken arm on the ground, and the huge egg in the deep hole in the cave, it made this place extremely strange and made people feel a chill in their hearts. Xiao Yan calmed his mind and picked up the third brocade box covered with Origin Monarch key. He slowly opened the lid. In the brocade box, there was a sword hilt engraved with strange patterns lying quietly. There was no blade, and there were no traces of the blade breaking where the sword hilt was. On the sword hilt, even after 10,000 years, there was still abundant spiritual energy flowing. A frightening aura surged out from it, causing Xiao Yan to vaguely see an ancient weapon that was trying to drink the remaining blood. He took out the hilt of the sword and held it tightly in his hand. A slight tingling sensation immediately came from his palm, as if it would directly hit his soul. The moment Xiao Yan held the hilt of the sword, he was in a trance. Even someone as strong as a middle period of alien stage soul felt uncomfortable. What a strange thing. He looked at the sword hilt in his hand with some surprise. There were mysterious patterns engraved on the sword hilt, which was quite strange. Xiao Yan held the sword hilt and pondered for a while. He tried to slowly infuse the boundless Origin Monarch key into it. A weapon that could be specially left behind by an Emperor cultivation warrior must have at least reached the level of a heavenly weapon. Naturally, it could not be controlled with common sense. In order to control it, he might need to infuse his blood essence into it. Just as Xiao Yan was deep in thought, the Origin Monarch key had already been injected into the sword hilt in his hand. In an instant, the sword hilt flashed with a strange light. In the next moment, along the hilt of the sword, a blade of light suddenly extended out, forming a complete sword with the hilt. The moment the blade of light appeared, Xiao Yan's mind buzzed, and his back was instantly covered with sweat. This sudden and violent aura made him break out in a cold sweat. What exactly is this? Looking at the light sword in his hand, Xiao Yan sucked in a breath of cold air. He couldn't help but look in the direction the light sword was pointing at. There was a deep and invisible gap there. It was caused by the sharp sword key the moment the light sword appeared. If this power hit a human's body, perhaps even the Monarch Emperor level expert would be able to kill him in an instant. Seeing that there was nothing else in the brocade box, Xiao Yan did not know the origin of this sort of light. After thinking for a while, the Origin Monarch key in his hand suddenly disappeared. The sword blade that was spat out from the sword hilt also disappeared, as if it had never appeared. Xiao Yan clicked his tongue in surprise. He carefully placed the sword hilt into the brocade box and put it away. No matter what it was, it did not matter. It was definitely a divine weapon. There was no doubt about it. Just a single sword key was enough to shatter a rock. This kind of strength had completely exceeded the scope of the spirit weapon. After obtaining a heavenly weapon of unknown grade, the smile on Xiao Yan's face became brighter and brighter. Sure enough, this trip wasn't a fluke. The things he obtained had exceeded his expectations, including that unknown heavenly weapon. The things in these three brocade boxes were no longer something that could be obtained with money in the outside world. He turned his eyes to the remaining two brocade boxes. Without any hesitation, he picked one up and opened it. There was only a dark black storage ring inside. There was some rust on the storage ring. Clearly, it had experienced this for quite some time. Xiao Yan could not help but feel some anticipation in his heart as he gently caressed this storage ring. What he needed now were monarch crystals and heavenly cores. There should be something that he needed within this storage ring. After all, it was something that an Emperor cultivation warrior would hide for the rest of his life. Spiritual strength surged out from between his brows. He probed the storage ring in his hand. He did not encounter any hindrance as his spiritual strength had already successfully entered it. What appeared in his mind was a huge space. Other than some neatly arranged brocade boxes, there was nothing else. It made sense. 10,000 years had passed. Most of these things had long since decayed, and only some true treasures were able to resist the corrosion of time and circulate eternally. Most of the extremely precious herbs in the storage ring had decayed. Perhaps the owner of the tomb never thought that this tomb would be sealed for 10,000 years. Xiao Yan carefully looked at it. Finally, he let out a bitter laugh. Originally, there were many treasures within the storage ring that could cause one to go crazy. However, now, they had all decayed and ceased to exist. The medicinal ingredients and spirit weapons that were arranged neatly had quietly disappeared after Xiao Yan's soul touched them. There was not a trace of them left behind. Only the white jade bottle at the bottom was still stubbornly flickering with a faint fluorescent light. Xiao Yan rejoiced in his heart. He carefully used his spiritual strength to take out the white jade bottle. The white jade bottle appeared in his hand. The fluorescent light on it instantly became much dimmer. Even with the protection of the Origin Monarch key, some invisible erosion immediately appeared on the white jade bottle. After opening the white jade bottle, a strange scent was immediately emitted. Xiao Yan could not help but frown slightly when he sensed this scent. There was actually a hot scent within this scent, as if there was a flame burning within it. He moved his gaze closer and saw dozens of crimson-red medicine pills lying within. It had been 10,000 years. There was still a strange pill fragrance being emitted, causing one to feel relaxed, and a wave of heat could be felt coming from within one's body. He looked around the white jade bottle and saw that there were no hints at all. Xiao Yan was also clueless about the use of this bottle of medicine pill. He sighed and kept the white jade bottle into his own storage ring. There were many treasures in the storage ring left by the tomb's owner, but now, only a few medicine pills remained. There were no other monarch crystals or spirit weapons left behind. Sighing helplessly, Xiao Yan looked at the last brocade box on the stone platform. He had no idea what was inside it that was beyond his expectations. Just as he was about to reach out his hand to grab it, a loud cracking sound was heard all of a sudden, causing Xiao Yan's extended hand to stop immediately. A strong light burst out from his eyes. The loud sound seemed to have come from the egg. He immediately threw his gaze into the deep pit in front of him. Spiderweb-like cracks began to appear on the surface of the huge egg in the deep pit. The cracks continued to expand along with the cracking sound. As the cracks expanded, crimson gold flames would jump out from the cracks. From time to time, as if they were welcoming the return of a king. On top of the huge egg, the Xiaoyi also opened its eyes. Its delicate face was filled with fatigue. With a light yi, the Xiaoyi turned into a ball of flame and quickly entered Xiao Yan's body like a meteor. Sensing that the Xiaoyi was fine, Xiao Yan's nervous mood calmed down a little. After that, he immediately focused all of his attention on the huge egg. At this moment, the surface of the huge egg was covered with cracks. A large number of Origin Monarch Ki were crazily entering the egg. At the same time, a powerful Ki instantly rose. In just a moment, it had already surpassed the Emperor realm, and had reached the Monarch Emperor. Ka. Under Xiao Yan's nervous gaze, a sound that could shake the entire tomb suddenly sounded out. In the next moment, the huge egg exploded. Strangely, the fragments didn't shoot out in all directions. Instead, they quietly floated in the air, as if they were waiting for something. Awoo! After a moment of silence, a lazy yawn suddenly sounded from the center of the explosion. As the smoke dispersed, the figure of a little boy with short red hair slowly appeared. The little boy was naked and had delicate features. At a glance, he was very likable. His big eyes revealed a trace of slyness. He looked at the dumbstruck Xiao Yan and couldn't help but laugh. His laughter was as clear as silver bells and resounded throughout the cave. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.